Hello friends, my name is Swapnil Wagh. I am Assistant Professor in Botany at Arts, Commerce and Science College, Chandwad. In previous lecture, we studied the ultrastructure of chloroplast, then photosystems, that is photosystem 1 and photosystem 2, then organization of electron transport system and evidences for the electron transport system. Now, in this second lecture, we are going to study photolysis of water, then cyclic and non-cyclic photophosphorylation and ATP synthesis, how ATP are synthesized. What is meant by photolysis of water, or where photolysis of water takes place? Photolysis of water is also known as photooxidation of water. In photolysis of water, water split into 2 hydrogen, 2 electron and half oxygen molecule in presence of light. This is known as photooxidation or photolysis of water. See the first point at photosystem 2, that it designated as P680 reaction center. Photolysis of water takes place, that is splitting of water in presence of light to form 2 hydrogen, 2 electron and half oxygen. This is important that oxygen comes from water molecule in photosynthesis, not from carbon dioxide. Why this photolysis of water takes place at the photosystem 2 and why not to the photosystem 1? Because photosystem 2 is a strong oxidant, means it oxidizes the water molecule, but a weak reductant, while photosystem 1 is the strong reductant but weak oxidant. Therefore, photolysis of water takes place at the photosystem 2. This is the important point. Then, for photolysis of water, one enzyme is important and it is known as water splitting enzyme. This water splitting enzyme requires some cofactors. For example, manganese, calcium and chlorine. These are the cofactors required for splitting of water. Then third point, electron release during photolysis of water accepted by photosystem 2 reaction center and H+ temporarily stay in the thylakoid lumen. These electrons donate during the photolysis of water. They are accepted by photosystem 2. Then next acceptor is the pheophytin, then plastoquinone, then cytochrome B6F, then plastocyanin, then photosystem 1 and so on. Means next acceptors are there for the electron, while hydrogen temporarily stay in the thylakoid lumen. Then the high energy electron then transfer to the next acceptor in a stepwise manner. I already told that. Some names of acceptors. Every time electron passes from donor to acceptor. Then see, in presence of light, this photolysis of water takes place. Water gets split into oxygen, hydrogen and the electrons, and this phenomenon is known as photooxidation of water or the photolysis of water. In this phenomenon, important thing is that water split to evolve the oxygen. This is one important thing, and also it donates the electron for cyclic and non-cyclic photophosphorylation. And second one, it only takes place at the photosystem 2. These are the two important things in photooxidation of water and the photolysis of water. Then see, next part is the mechanism of establishment of proton gradient across thylakoid membrane. How proton gradient is formed across the thylakoid membrane by cyclic as well as non-cyclic photophosphorylation. Non-cyclic photophosphorylation means once the electron donate, it not comes again, final acceptor is there for the electron. And photophosphorylation means in presence of light, addition of phosphate takes place for synthesis of ATP molecule. This is known as non-cyclic photophosphorylation. It is a part, it is actually photo part. This non-cyclic photophosphorylation takes place in thylakoid membrane. For this non-cyclic photophosphorylation, some proteins, they are located in thylakoid membrane. See, this is the chloroplastoma, this is the thylakoid lumen, and this is thylakoid membrane. This is the thylakoid membrane. This is the bilayer of thylakoid membrane. Then in presence of light, water split into two hydrogen, then 2 electrons and half oxygen. Then electron, they are accepted by photosystem second. Photosystem second absorb 680 nanometer light. Then in presence of light, these electrons, they are excited, they get energy and they get excited. In excited state, they are accepted by pheophytin and then plastoquinone. This plastoquinone is also a transmembrane protein. Then these electrons, they are accepted by next acceptor, it is cytochrome B6F. Actually, this cytochrome B6F is a transmembrane protein, and we know most of transmembrane proteins act as a channels also. Means channels allow some molecules to pass the plasma membrane. Therefore, this cytochrome B6F is a transmembrane protein and is also act as a ion channel. When this electron transfer, it having negative charge, therefore it attract the positive hydrogen ions, and due to attraction, these positive hydrogen ions, they enter into the cytochrome B6F, and through the cytochrome B6F, they move toward the thylakoid lumen. When these electron get transferred, they attract the hydrogen ions from chloroplastoma, and through the cytochrome B6F ion channel, they move inside the thylakoid lumen. What happens? Due to this, the pH of chloroplastoma get increases, means H plus concentration get decreases, while pH of thylakoid lumen get decreases, means H plus concentration get increase inside the thylakoid lumen. This is the first point in a non-cyclic photophosphorylation. due to the transfer of electron, pH of chloroplast get increases while pH of thylakoid lumen get decreases. Then this electron is accepted by plastocyanin. Plastocyanin is the next acceptor. It is associated with thylakoid membrane. It is a not transmembrane protein. It present toward the thylakoid lumen. Then next acceptor is the photosystem 1. In a photosystem 1, main reaction center, that is chlorophyll A, absorb light of 700 nanometer, and due to this light energy in the form of photon, this electron get energy and it get excited, and in excited state it accepted by ferredoxin. See, this is the ferredoxin, and after that it accepted by ferrous sulfate, and finally it accepted by NADP, and NADPH2 are synthesized. Means NADPH2 is synthesized inside the chloroplast stroma. First product of non-cyclic photophosphorylation is the NADPH2, and it synthesized inside the stroma. You remember the location where NADPH2 is synthesized. It is also important for any competitive exam. NADPH2 is actually synthesized inside the chloroplast stroma. See here. Then I already told that due to the transfer of electron, pH of thylakoid lumen get decrease, and chloroplast stroma it get increased. pH of thylakoid lumen decrease means H plus concentration in thylakoid lumen get increased. Then see, the next transmembrane protein is the ATP synthase. This ATP synthase is made up of F0 and F1 particle. These are the two subunits of ATP synthase, F0 and the F1. F0 and the F1. From, see here, gradient is formed, proton gradient, that is high concentration of H plus is inside the thylakoid lumen, while low concentration of H plus inside the chloroplast stroma, and this proton gradient is formed due to the non-cyclic transfer of electron. Then when this pH get decrease, this high concentration of hydrogens, they move from high concentration to the low concentration through ATP synthase, because ATP synthase is also act as a ion channel, and through which these hydrogens they move from high concentration to the low concentration. High concentration means through thylakoid lumen to the stroma. When three hydrogens they move from thylakoid lumen to the chloroplast stroma, there is a synthesis of one ATP molecule. This is also the one important thing. When three hydrogen move from ATP synthase, there is a synthesis of one ATP molecule. Here, in presence of light, phosphorylation takes place. Means addition of phosphate takes place. Inorganic phosphate add on ADP to form ATP. Therefore, it is known as photophosphorylation. This is the overall non-cyclic photophosphorylation. Here ATP and NADPH2 are synthesized. This is the important thing. Then see, the next one is the cyclic photophosphorylation. What is meant by cyclic photophosphorylation? Here, when temperature are adverse or temperature is very high, conditions are adverse, then when water availability is not there for photolysis, then actually cyclic photophosphorylation takes place inside plants. What happens in this, when electron donated by photosystem second to the ferredoxin, it again transfer that electron to the cytochrome B6F, and after cytochrome B6F it transfer to the or accepted by plastocyanin, then again photosystem 1, and in this way this electron move in a cyclic manner. There is no final acceptor for these electrons. And therefore it is known as cyclic photophosphorylation. Means photosystem second, when photolysis of water takes place, excite the electron, it is accepted by primary acceptor, then plastoquinone, then cytochrome B6F, then plastocyanin, then photosystem 1, then ferredoxin, again to the cytochrome B61, plastocyanin, photosystem 1, and in this manner this electron it rotate in a cyclic manner. Therefore it is known as cyclic photophosphorylation. But here, in presence of light, addition of phosphate takes place. NADPH2 are not synthesized. This is the important thing, because there is no final acceptor. NADP not accept the electron because it rotate in the cyclic manner. Therefore NADPH2 is not synthesized in cyclic photophosphorylation, but ATP are synthesized. Why? Because when electron transfer, it attract the hydrogen from stroma to the lumen through cytochrome B6F. Therefore pH of that lumen get decrease, H plus concentration get increase, and due to that proton gradient is formed, and through ATP synthase that high concentration electrons move from lumen to the stroma, and there is a synthesis of ATP. When 3 hydrogen, they move from lumen to the stroma, there is addition of inorganic phosphate to ADP, and there is a formation of 1 ATP molecule. Means ATP are synthesized. In a cyclic photophosphorylation, only ATP are synthesized. No synthesis of NADPH2. This is the important thing in cyclic photophosphorylation. And when cyclic photophosphorylation takes place, when conditions are adverse, there is unavailability of water for photolysis, then cyclic photophosphorylation takes place. Means only they generate the ATP but not NADPH2. Then see about the ATP synthase. What is ATP synthase? It is also the important transmembrane protein, or it is one enzyme responsible for synthesis of ATP. See the position of ATP synthase. This is lipid bilayer membrane of thylakoid. Then this blue color is the stroma. Then this green color is the inner thylakoid space. And here the H plus concentration is more due to non-cyclic photophosphorylation as well as cyclic photophosphorylation. And when these hydrogen move from ATP synthase, there is a synthesis of ATP in stroma. See what is chemiosmotic hypothesis. In 1961, British biochemist by name Peter Dennis Mitchell theorized the chemiosmotic hypothesis, which explain how energy molecule ATP are created during photosynthesis, awarded by Nobel Prize. In this process, ATP produced as a result of proton gradient. I already told that how proton gradient is formed. Proton gradient is formed due to the movement of electron through cyclic and non-cyclic photophosphorylation. During that movement, it attracts H plus hydrogen ions from stroma to the lumen, and therefore proton gradient is formed that exists across the thylakoid membrane. The enzyme required for ATP synthase, it is made up of two subunits. ATP synthase is made up of actually two subunits. I already told that, F0 and the F1. Actually this is the F0 below 1 and this the F1. F0 subunit is involved in the proton transportation across membrane. This F0 is responsible for proton transportation, means actual transportation takes place through the F0, which causes changes in the F1 configuration, leading to activation of enzyme. The enzyme phosphorylates ADP, converts ADP2 to ADP into ATP. Means when proton transfer through F0 molecule or F0 subunit, F1 configuration get changed. The F1 configuration get changed and it leading to activate the enzyme phosphorylates that add inorganic phosphate on ADP to form finally ATP. This is all about the ATP synthase. Actually this ATP synthase is also present in mitochondrial membrane, where in next lecture we are going to study respiration. During that again we study the ATP synthase. We will going to study the ATP synthase. This is about the ATP synthase, and the hypothesis is known as chemiosmotic hypothesis. I hope our photo part up to ATP synthase get over, and I hope you understand the photo part of photosynthesis. I again summarize the photo part. In photo part we study the ultrastructure of chloroplast, then photosystems, then organization of ETS, then cyclic and non-cyclic photophosphorylation, how ATP and NADPH2 are synthesized, how ATP are synthesized, and also the ATP synthase, some evidences for the electron transport system. We cover almost all photo part in a photosynthesis. In a next lecture we are going to study the synthesis part, that is Calvin cycle or C3 cycle, how actual carbohydrates are synthesized. One part is over, another part we start in the next lecture. I hope you understand. You also refer some books, some references. Tej and Jigar is also very informative book for plant physiology. Then V. Verma, textbook of plant physiology. Then V.K. Jain, fundamental of plant physiology. Okay, then thank you.